Pinion's Playhouse is on the air. Turn the volume up. We've got lots to share. Listen in your car or your underwear. Frank Opinion's on the air.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for finding the Frank Opinion Joke Podcast. Bear with me for 1 second, because I'm making a little note of a story I do not want to forget to tell you. Today's joke, by the way, is a blonde joke. And I'm going to get to that in a minute about why I find blonde jokes so interesting. Not just that the jokes are generally funny, but the whole idea of how blonde jokes kind of came to be. I want to thank AO Creatives, aocreatives.com, for helping me get the word out about this podcast. They can help you too, maybe. If you want one or want to make yours better, also websites, aocreatives.com. And please don't forget to hit the follow button, because that way you never miss a joke. Now, this joke, before I tell it, I think blonde jokes are interesting for this reason. When I was a kid, as far back as I can remember, I love jokes. I love listening to adults tell jokes I wasn't really supposed to get. I still kind of got them. And we had little moron jokes. I mean, those were everywhere. Everybody, a little moron goes into the store and little moron this, little moron that. And then for whatever reason, I guess somebody said, well, I have a kid who's a moron, and I don't think that's funny. So they were changed to Polak jokes. Well, as you can imagine, after a while, some Polish people said, I don't like it that you're making Polish people look stupid in these jokes, these Polak jokes. So we stopped that, and then guess what all those jokes became? The Polak jokes, the little moron jokes, they became blonde jokes. You just take the same jokes, and instead of a moron or a Polish person, you make it about blondes. And I never, in all the years, over 35 years of telling jokes, never had one blonde person or the husband, brother, sister of a blonde person get upset. They thought they were funny. In fact, some of my best blonde jokes came from blonde women. So I think that's interesting that we kept changing it until we finally get something safe that nobody seems to be upset about. Now, the joke actually is about a blonde who's married to a guy who's very handy. In fact, he's restoring a car. Not something just everybody can do. I might add, I'm kind of envious of all of you, male or female, who are handy, mechanical, technical, who can do that stuff. I can't do anything. I can't fix anything, build anything, work on it, nothing. If I do, it'll be a disaster. So, again, I'm kind of envious of people who can do that. In this particular joke, the guy is very handy. Now, I'm going to tell you a story that I just think it's one of the funniest stories ever. It's true, and it's about a guy that worked with me for years and years. Terry Daly was his name, and Terry passed away a couple of years ago. I still think Terry Daly is maybe the single funniest person, naturally funny, that I have ever known. It's just he said things that were so out in left field. Just who thinks like that? He did. And one of the stories he told me was that for a while in his life, I think he actually lived in a little horrible old motor home.
In a van down by the river.
I'm pretty sure he did. So he not only kind of lived in it, everywhere he drove, he didn't have a car, he'd take this little motor home. And he told me that it was, and I saw it, I got to go in it, it was a disaster, it smelled weird. And he said the headliner started coming loose, sagging, falling down. So when I tell you this, you're just not going to believe it. He asked a buddy about what do I do, and they said, well, you need to get yourself a tube of heavy-duty glue and, glue that headliner back onto the roof and hold it up. And so he goes to the hardware store and buys a caulking tube of adhesive. And he said that he He gets back to the motorhome. He's ready to, put the glue on. And he said he was just having so much trouble. It was so hard to get the glue out of that tube. What he was doing, he was squeezing it. He didn't know what a caulking gun was. He's trying to squeeze, and he said he'd get just a little bit out, and then he'd have to throw the rest away and start. And he went through so many tubes. I said, you didn't know? Even I know what a caulking gun is, and I don't know anything about that stuff. But I knew that. I just thought that was hysterical, that he tried to glue it and didn't even know to use a caulking gun. So that's an example of somebody else like me who, not very handy, didn't know how to build or fix or repair anything. And this particular joke is about a guy who's just the opposite. He's extremely handy, and he's rebuilding a car, restoring a car, and he's almost done. The painting is done. Everything is done. He's down to a couple of electrical issues where he's working on the turn signals, and he goes to the house and gets his wife. He says, honey, and she's blonde. You got to remember that. I need your help. Will you come outside? I'm just about finished with this project, but I need to make sure the turn signals are working. And when I turn the turn signal on, left, right, I can't see whether or not they're working because I'm sitting in the car. Would you stand behind the car? And then when I say now, just tell me if the turn signals are working. So he says, sure. So his blonde wife goes, stands behind the car. He reaches in the driver's window and hits the stick and says, now, honey, remember, when I say now, you tell me if the turn signals are working. We'll do them one at a time. She goes, okay. He says, now. She says, all right, it's working. It's not working. It's working. It's not working. It's working. It's not.